Before we get into this video, I just want to quickly say, if you could use code VISEXD in the Fortnite item shop, I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to reach 100 people using my creator code. Yo, what is going on guys? It's Vice here back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the best landing spot for arena and competitive Fortnite. If you enjoyed this video or find anything in it useful, make sure to leave a like. It only takes 2 seconds and it helps me out a lot. Also, now on the road to 2,000 subscribers, so if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that sub button as I post content out every 3 days. But anyways, I'm trying to keep this intro as short as possible, so let's get into this video. I'm going to be rating each landing spot based on the amount of loot they have, the amount of materials you can get, if there's good rotation, and whether a lot of people land there. And then I'll give each spot a rating out of 10. The first landing spot on our list is this storage factory located near Frenzy Farm. This place offers good loot and a really easy rotation into the first one. And also, it's surrounded by water, so the chances of getting third parties are really low. For loot, I have to give it a 2 out of 3, because despite there only being 4 chestboards, there's a lot of floor loot, and there's also upgrade benches which you can use to upgrade your weapons to higher rarities. For materials, it's really easy to max out your wood and your metal, so there's not that much brick around, so I have to give it a 2 out of 3. For rotation, I have to give it a 3 out of 3, because there's a whirlpool which can literally take you to center zone. I can't show you the whirlpool right now because at the time of recording, they are currently temporarily disabled. But even without whirlpools, there's a boat which you can use to rotate as well. Also, this place is rarely contested. The maximum you get is like 2 people landing here, so it definitely gets an extra point for that. Overall, this is a really solid landing spot, and it gets an 8 out of 10 in total. The second landing spot on our list is Salty Springs. This is a landing spot for people who like to play a bit more aggressive and get easy kills in the early game. Avoid landing at the blue house, because most of the time that ends up in a 50-50. I recommend landing in the brick house or the small house at the back. In terms of loot, the only thing stopping Salty from getting 3 stars is that there's no mythic guns, so it gets a 2.5 out of 3. Also, there's a slurp truck right next to Salty, which guarantees you 100 shield. For material, there's a good amount of wood and brick, and if you rotate towards the bridge where the slurp truck is, you can max out your metal as well, so it gets a 3 out of 3 for materials. In terms of rotation, first of all, it's at the center of the map, which means you're basically guaranteed the first zone. Also, there's a whirlpool located right next to Salty, which basically guarantees you a free rotation, so it's definitely getting a 3 out of 3 for that. However, because it's a heavily contested POI, a lot of people land here, so it gets no extra points for that. Overall, Salty Springs gets an 8.5 out of 10, so again, if you're looking for somewhere where you can get easy kills at the beginning of the game, this is definitely where you should land. This next landing spot is a landing spot that a lot of people have forgotten about, as it used to be flooded. We are actually talking about the house north of Holly Hedges. I'm not gonna lie, the loot here isn't the best, but there's an upgrade bench in the house which you can use to upgrade your weapons. Also, there's a slurp truck really close by which you can get a guaranteed 100 shield. So for that, for loot, I'll give it a 2 out of 3. For materials, wood and metal is really easy to get. However, brick is much harder to find, so it only gets a 2 out of 3 for that. Although this place is located on the outskirts of the map, there is a whirlpool nearby which you can use to get to the next zone, so for that it gets a 3 out of 3 for rotation. Like I said, not that many people know about this landing spot, so it's rarely contested, which means it gets an extra point for that. Overall, this is a great landing spot if you want guaranteed 100 shield and a free rotation into the first zone, and for that it gets an 8 out of 10. Another landing spot that a lot of people have forgotten about is the Fort Crumpet. This is a tiny castle just east of Sweaty Sand. In the beginning of chapter 2, a lot of people used to land here, but it's kinda being forgotten about since the release of season 3. In terms of loot, there's more than enough for a solo, but there's no mythic weapons, so it gets a 2.5. In terms of material, there's more than enough brick, and getting wood is also really easy. However, metal is really hard to find, so it only gets a 2 out of 3. This place is also located on the outskirts of the map. However, you can use the same whirlpool which we just talked about to get to zone, so it gets a 3 out of 3 for rotation. And again, not many people land here, so it gets an extra point for that as well. This is another really good landing spot which I recommend you trying out, and it gets an 8.5 out of 10 in total. Moving on to the final landing spot. This is one you may or may not have heard about already. The place I'm talking about is the Pontoon, or otherwise known as the boat. The Pontoon is a boat which spawns randomly in different areas of the match, each game. In terms of loot, I have no other choice than to give it a 3 out of 3. Even though there's no mythic weapons, you have 6 chest spawns, 2 henchman chest spawns, a supply drop, guaranteed 100 shields from the slurp barrel, and guaranteed floppers. The loot you get from this place literally sets you up for endgame. Also, every time you land here, you're guaranteed to get a launch pad, so I have to give it a 3 out of 3 for rotation. However, one disadvantage is that the mats here aren't great, so I can only give it a 1 out of 3 for that. And also, this place does get contested a bit, so I can't give it extra points for that. Overall, it's a great landing spot which I recommend you trying out, and it gets a 7 out of 10 in total. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy or find anything useful, make sure to drop a like, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. But anyways, that's it from me. See you in the next video.